Well then, gentlemen, why don't we jump right on into this whole thing? There is so much coverage to discuss. I want to say off the top that it feels like Star Wars is following like a timeline thing, very similar to Marvel's phases. But let's dive right into this. This comes to us from Polygon. We got this Star Wars canon timeline revealed at the Star Wars Celebration 2023. Quote here from Polygon says, Kennedy showed an image with the newly expanded timeline on screen, leading from Dawn of the Jedi through the Old Republic, High Republic, Fall of the Jedi, Reign of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, New Republic, Rise of the First Order, to the New Jedi Order.
Good God.
There is so much, you guys.
Too much.
We got
Too
a
much.
That's in everybody's not. Well, Marvel's got a timeline. We got to put out. Everybody put out your timelines. We got to make a timeline.
Or, don't tell us that you're making these so, you don't cancel them the week from now or whatever. So.
Oh, man. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, Kathleen Kennedy has kind of just been canceling everything she announces for the most part. So, I don't know. I feel a little confident in this because hopefully they're already starting to announce some castings for certain projects. So specifically some of the movies that they've been announcing today or for this weekend.
Yeah.
Ted, what do you think about all this timeline mumbo jumbo stuff?
Dude, I'm already burnt out, man.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like having Marvel fatigue, but for Star Wars.
Oh, no.
It'd be Star Wars fatigue. I've been watching The Mandalorian. It's like I've tried to keep up, and I have done my damnedest to like watch the Clone Wars and like everything, single thing that's coming out. I went through Boba Fett. That was
Oh,
and then
man.
Obi-Wan, and now they're Obi-Wan season 2, and it's Bad Batch season 2 and 3. I'm like, who has the time?
I mean,
also, if it's gonna be really good, then I'm in. But if it's gonna be kind of like meh, like it's like Mando season 3 has been a little wonky lately.
Yeah. Especially if you're making it through Clone Wars and Rebels, like the animated stuff. That's pretty dense. Like there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot there.
Like, and a lot of the stuff, like in the new season of Mando, and then we saw a trailer for Ahsoka, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. Filoni is really trying to bring Rebels into live action, which is cool.
Right. Yeah.
But like, how many people have watched every single thing? Like I have, because I tortured myself visiting through every season.
Dude,
Yeah.
I just started trying to watch season 2 of Star Wars Rebels because as soon as I saw this Ahsoka trailer, which we will discuss later today, everybody, I instantly was like, oh man, those are all the characters from Rebels. Okay, let me go back.
Yeah.
Gotta watch this. But I still have like 40 or 60 episodes left, and I'm
so
like,
many filler episodes as well, so you just gotta push through them.
that's been the hard part is going through all the filler. So I might just go on one of those websites that tell me how to skip through that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a bunch of websites dedicated. It was the same with Clone Wars. They just like condense it down. Like these are the episodes you need to see.
Yeah.
If you want
Now,
like a truncated version.
I will say though, in a way, I know we're kind of bashing the whole timeline stuff, but at the same time, I kind of got a little excited about it just because most of the projects we've been seeing take place between the Age of Rebellion and the New Republic and the Rise of the First Order. They've just been stuck in this timeline because they wanted to play it safe and give us the things they thought we wanted, which doesn't always work out the way it is, Like, I've always wanted to see an Old Republic series or a High Republic series. I don't think they announced anything with Old or High Republic, but we are going to talk about some Dawn of the Jedi. But I want to see some stories that take place in a different timeline. That way I don't have to see Boba Fett anymore. I don't have to see Bossk. I don't have to see any other characters from Star Wars that we've already seen. Because, we don't want to be in this universe. Like, it's a universe. It's a Star Wars universe where anywhere these characters go, they shouldn't be interacting with all the same characters that we've already seen all the time.
Very true.
I want to see something new. If we're going to do something in different timelines, great. Give us a new story. Give us some new characters, which I think that's exactly what they're going to start doing now. And hopefully they're taking more confident choices and chances to make this all work out,
Well, I think like Mandalorian is a great example of that because the first season was like just its own thing and new characters that we don't really know. There's sort of loosely connect, like Baby Yoda, of course, is recognizable, but like it wasn't until the end of season 2 that we started seeing a lot of the same like Skywalker people, and it's like, okay, well, this is cool. I'm glad to see them, but I kind of liked it when it was just its own thing, standalone.
That being said, you know it was cool when Luke Skywalker.
I mean, it was
showed up.
very
it was pretty cool.
Of course.
It's very good.
That's
Sweet.
pretty awesome. Yeah.
I would prefer though if, even skip the whole Old Republic stuff, like way before the original trilogy, because that eventually will lead into, the Skywalker stuff. So I'm thinking jump way into the future. And I know there's one coming, but I mean like
Not even
nothing
farther.
connected.
15 years in the future.
Yeah, like even more than that, like
Like
thousands.
300.
Of years.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you could get creative with the technology, because we're kind of stuck with the set series of the Skywalker, like the tech. You see that through Mandalorian, and nothing gets newer, really. So
The only thing about that is, that even if they go 1,000 years in the future, they're gonna have to have Skywalkers because
No,
The timeline continues
disagree.
it,
I disagree, because they can, it doesn't even have to have Jedi. It could just be people, because Andor was so good.
Yeah.
I think they could just follow a separate story. It doesn't even have to be the First Order stormtroopers. It could be just some force, or if you're a reader of the old legend books, like the Uzun Vong, like those, that was an interesting group that they came across. But
That would be cool if we could maybe with the what is it, the new Jedi Order stuff, which we'll talk about later. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see if maybe the Yuuzhan Vong could make an appearance. Maybe
Yeah.
they'll pull them into canon. But
Also-
really quick, going to this timeline thing, I will say it is kind of it makes it easier for me, but at the same time it makes it more complicated, because now they've established this timeline. So I can go, okay, this will make it easier to kind of put everything in order. But then I started to think, and I was like, wait a minute, where the hell, if we think about everything that's come out, where does everything go? And some of it you can more or less guess, but then with all the new stuff that they've been announcing, it's just been kind of like a lot of all over the place, right? We're doing something thousands of years in the past. Yeah. We're currently doing Mandalorian stuff. We just had Andor over here, and then we're going to do, stuff in the future. And I'm trying to organize all this in my brain, and I feel like I'm getting a lot thrown at me, and we're just jumping all over the timeline. So it's a little frustrating, but at the same time, I am glad that they have established this timeline so we can kind of plug things into.
well,
Which
don't
also-
forget. Oh,
It's also just a good thing that we're going to cover all these stories today, because I found most information on where on the timeline each project's going to go. But even that, it's like there's so many projects to keep track of, so the timeline is going to be full of different things.
Right.
Chad, sorry, you were going to say something.
Oh no, I was just going to add to what Raul was saying, because that's not even counting the comic books and the books or novels that get made.
Ah,
because
They're not
connected.
even canon.
But no,
Canon,
but
man, who cares?
the trilogy of books that have Thrawn in them, and then
Yeah.
yes.
Oh
and
yeah.
Thrawn's and Rebels, and it's just like, all right, well,
Yeah.
they're gonna have to abbreviate.
They've cherry
character.
picked stuff from the books, like, oh, we like Thrawn.
Yeah.
It has to be that.
You're official now.
They're
Heir to
definitely
the
pulling
Empire.
a.
Okay.
It's definitely like a very Kevin Feige decision where they do nitpick what they like about the comics, or what the books, But
The
honestly,
legends.
to me, as someone who doesn't read the novels of Star Wars, I kind of appreciate it, because now I don't have to read 3,500 books of Star Wars
But it's
to understand
better.
what's going on. Well, hopefully the writers that do the screenplays for these new projects do a good job telling the stories of these books. Like there's a story of like Darth Vader and Palpatine being stranded on a planet together,
Yeah.
and they have to have like one-on-one like character study with each other. And I thought like that's a cool idea that I think they should put on the screen and maybe do
That
like
would
a
be cool.
TV series.
Well, that
of,
is that is one of the official canonical books, actually. That one
Yeah.
that you're talking about, that does like, they don't need to adapt that. Like, that's already part of the canon.
They could just do it on TV. Do it. Just put it on Disney
Well,
Plus.
I think
Take
they
my
should
money.
just cut out they can keep the animation for TV, but like cut out the live action TV and just make movies, because then you could tell tighter stories. You don't have like weak episodes that don't do well, and then each scene will be that much more important. Because
But in some of those cases, like it works better because you get to flesh things out a little more with TV.
well, that
You
didn't
get
happen
more-
for Obi-Wan. That
Yeah, but with Andor, you got a pretty good character studies there.
Andor-
It gives you more real estate to explore stuff like that if you do it well.
Yeah.
Like some shows don't do it very well, like with
No.
Obi-Wan.